this is a question regarding the effects of deforestation, or it's a question regarding the importance of forest. So now the question is like this. The first statement is, if timber is over harvested, the surface runoff of water will be reduced. And second statement, some rivers change their course during floods and it leads to loss of fertile soil to the sea. Then third, forests act as water purifying system, whereas wetlands do not. So these are the statements they have given with regard to deforestation, or regarding the importance of forest, or the impact of deforestation on wetlands. So regarding this question, it's a simple question, and so we are studying this concept from our primary school onwards. So everyone should be knowing about the answer of this, right? Anyway, let us discuss some main points regarding this. So the main points regarding this question are: the trees check the flow of water. How? How means we know that there will be rain. Okay, rainwater will be there, and a part of rainwater will be percolated to the underground in order to make the underground water, right? And rest will be flowing through the surface, and that is known as surface runoff. So these trees will object the movement of surface run, or the trees will reduce the surface runoff water, and it will help in percolation of that rainwater. Okay, so in that way, the trees check the flow of water, and it's an ecological function by trees. So thereby the trees will increase the underground water table, because the more water will be percolated to the underground if the more trees are there, right? So if the timber is overharvested, there won't be the blocking of flowing water by the plants, thereby the less recharging of water will be happened. So because of this, surface runoff water will increase, okay, because there is no other timbers, there is no other plants or trees to object the flow of surface water runoff. So that's why the surface water runoff will increase. Okay, so when this surface runoff is increased, the water in the rivers will also increase. That means it will cause floods. So when deforestation is over there is no trees to object the movement of water, that means object the movement of surface runoff. So that will increase the chances of flood. So the water will be more in rivers and it will lead to floods. Okay, so in that way, in rainy season, because of this over water, some rivers will be changing their course. So during the rainy seasons or during the floods, some rivers change their course, and as a result of this, nutrients in the soil will solve into the water, and it will carry to the sea along with the soil. So this concept all might be knowing, right? So there are lots of nutrients on soil. Okay, so when the water is there, it will dissolve into the water, or it will solve into the water, and again that will be flow through the water, and it will reach the nearest water body. Okay, nearest to the wetland, or to the lake, or to the sea. Ultimately, this all nutrients or minerals, all this dissolved into the water, and it will reach into the sea, right? And you might be knowing some important rivers which is changing their course continuously, like the Kosi river. So that's why we are calling this Kosi river as Sword of Bihar, right? So this Kosi river is making or creating floods on the banks of that river, Kosi river, right? Because they are changing their course, right? How they are changing their course? They will carry large rocks and all these things, and it will block the flow of water. So there is also some enormous water also. So due to that, they will change their courses. So in this manner, lots of fertile soil will lost to the sea. Okay, so the fertile soils will lost to the sea. That's why we are having deltaic regions in the river mouth. Okay, how deltas are forming? By the sedimentation of these excess soils, nutrients, all these things we are having deltas, right? So deltas is having the nutrient rich soil. Okay. Now regarding this last statement, forest and wetlands acts as water purifying systems. How this forest and wetlands act as water purifying system? You know that groundwater is the purest water, right? And also rainwater is also pure if there is no pollution. Nowadays, due to pollution, we are getting acid rain, something like that, right? So this groundwater is recharged by this forest ecosystem and as well as wetland ecosystems. So wetland, we know that rivers are wetland, lakes are wetland, ponds are wetlands, right? Marshy lands are wetlands. So all these kinds of wetlands, they will recharge the underground water, because for example in lakes there will be lots of water holding right, and that water will be percolated to the underground, right, and it will add up to the underground water. Okay, in that manner this water is percolating through the soil and it will purify the water. In the same manner, forest will also help in purifying water, right, because again through the roots, because of the presence of forest and their roots, this water will percolate to the underground. So forest is also helping recharging of underground, thereby it is also purifying the water system, right. So that's why forest and wetland acts as water purifying systems. Now let's go to the question again. So the first statement, if timber is over harvested, the surface runoff of water will be reduced. That's a wrong statement, because if the timber is over harvested, what will happen? The surface runoff of water will increase, not reduced. Okay, the increasing of surface water will be there. So that's why first statement is wrong. So we eliminated A. Then second statement, some rivers change their course during floods and it leads to the loss of fertile soil to the sea. That's also correct. Some rivers will change their course. It may be due to heavy water, okay, and that will also carry soil to the sea, right. So that's why second statement is correct. So we eliminated D. So rest of the options are B and C. So coming to the third statement, forest act as water purifying system whereas wetland do not. That's a wrong statement, because forest and wetlands both are acting as water purifying systems. So that's why here the answer is B, 2 only.